Here we're going to show you where we're going to use the tangent ratio to find here the missing side, or the missing angle of these right triangles, okay? So we have two where we're looking for the angles and two where we're looking for the side. So let's go and take a look at them, okay? So look at what we have relative to the angle here of 32. We have the opposite side and we have the adjacent side. The opposite side, which is x, the adjacent side, which is 4. So we can use the tangent. So the tangent of 32 is going to be equal to the opposite x over the adjacent 4. Okay? Now, what does that mean? Well, it simply means if we cross multiply and we found the tangent of 32, we could find x, okay? Now, of course, we're going to need our calculator for that, but we can see that if we found the tangent of 32 and we multiplied that by 4, that would give us the value of x. So we're going to pull up our calculator. We're going to do just that. I'm going to find the tangent. It's a secondary function. The tangent of 32. And I'm going to get that. And it's going to give me, of course, what it says, tangent of 32, or the decimal value of 0.624. 0.624 times x. So I'm going to have 4 times 0.624. And that's going to give me the x value. So here we go again. Let's pull that calculator back up and multiply that result by 4 and see what in fact we get. 2.499. 2.499. So we get x 2.499 is the length of x. Okay, let's do this one. Here again, 54. Relative to that angle, I have the opposite side and I have the adjacent side. So I'm going to set it up. The tan of 54 is equal to the opposite, which is 6, over x. Okay? Now here, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the tangent of 54. Okay? So go to my calculator again and ask the calculator for the tangent of 54, okay, and I'm going to ask what that is. It's going to tell me it's 1.376, so I have 1.376 is equal to 6 over x. If I cross multiply, then I'm going to get 1.376 times x is equal to 6, or solving for x, I get x is equal to 6 divided by 1.376. So we'll find what x is on this problem. Okay, again using our calculator. So I've got 6, I'm going to say 6 divided by that 1.376. And that's going to give me my value of x, which is 4.36. 4.36. Okay. Now, let's go and take a look at where we're going to find the angle using the tangent. We're going to use the tangent to find the angle. Okay? So, just going to move this down. Okay, so I can, let's not do that. Okay, let's just work with it as it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so here, setting this one up, I know relative to the angle at hand, I have, okay, the opposite and the adjacent. So I say the tan of x is equal to the opposite, 24 over 7. But I don't have the angle, I need the angle. So that means I can find the angle by switching these positions and taking the inverse tangent. So the x is going to be the tangent inverse of 24/7. Okay, so we'll call on our calculator. We'll ask our calculator to do that. Okay, so the inverse tangent is the tan -1, and the tan -1 at 24 divided by 7 should give me the value of that angle, which should be reported as okay, 73.73. So the angle X is 73.73 degrees. Okay, so if we're looking for the angle, we're going to do the inverse tan. Let's do this one. X is here relative to X. I have the opposite, I have the adjacent. So I say the tangent of the angle X is equal to the opposite, which is 9/12. Now, obviously, that can be reduced, so I should reduce that. Of course, dividing by 3, I can get 3/4, okay? Which is 0.75 if I prefer. So that means now X is going to be the inverse tangent, the tan -1, which we call the inverse tangent of 0.75, okay? And again, I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to ask my calculator to what is the inverse tangent, the green level function of 0.75, okay? And it's going to tell me the angle is 36.87. 36.87. X is equal to 36.87. So, in summary, when we're looking for the side, those are the problems done here in blue. Okay, we use the tangent. The tangent of the angle is equal to, we set it equal up to the sides that we have and the one that we're missing. We use our calculator to find the tangent of that angle. We cross multiply and solve. Okay, when we're looking for the angle, on the other hand, we're going to use the inverse tangent, but still we're going to set it up, the tangent of X, and we're going to say is equal to the opposite over the adjacent, 24/7. But then I'm going to want the angle, which means we're going to have to take the inverse tangent of that ratio, which will give me the angle. Again, looking for the angle, I will set it up as the tan of X, so I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the angle, but the angle can only be found by taking the inverse tangent of that ratio, which we can and should reduce as a decimal if we could. We could still put that in as 3/4, as we saw in the previous problem, okay? And that would give us the angle, okay? So there you have it, using the tangent and the inverse tangent. The tangent defined a side when the angle is given. The inverse tangent defined an angle when the sides are given.